to the outside. They're well on the straight, 300 to go. Rulership still in front. Laheb flat to the boards. Redwood and Rewilding trying. Calvados Blues and Dean behind them. Rewilding and Redwood go up to Rulership. Rewilding takes the lead, 100 metres left to go. Draws clear of Redwood and Rewilding is coming away. Rewilding wins the Shima Classic. Rewilding first, Redwood second, Calvados Blues third. Then Laheb, Chin John, Rulership, Irish Flame and Deem, followed by King Dancer, Marinus, then Bourbon Bay, Champ Pegasus, El Shamali and Dangerous Midge came in the long last of all in the Dubai Shima Classic. Now Godolphin strike again. Godolphin and Frankie Dettori have won the Dubai Shima Classic with Rewilding, and Mahmoud El Zarouni gives the other branch of the organisation a win. Saeed scoring earlier with Frankie, Sky Surfers, and then Saeed and Mikhail Barcelona won the derby, and now it is Rewilding winning the Dubai Shima Classic.
Well, Rewilding wins and provides Godolphin with their third winner on the card here at Meydan on World Cup night. And this time it was Mahmoud El Zarouni who managed to saddle the winner. And this horse, as I said, he's not big, but he's got a lot of heart, he's got a lot of talent, and a very, very pleasing performance from Rewilding, and gets the job done nicely. As we said, Lord, that form behind Workforce, he was third in the derby itself.
Well, Frankie's second win on the night. Take me back to the start. Tell me what was going through your head.
The pace was a little bit stop and start. I rode him pretty much like a favourite. I stayed pretty much out of trouble. He had me a little bit in trouble beginning of the straight. He got a little bit lazy with me. But once I got into the straight and I gathered him, he started to go through the gears, and in the end he just pulled away from the others. It was very exciting, and it's a good horse and he deserves it.
He had to catch his breath a little at the end, blowing pretty hard. You had to catch your breath as well. They made you earn it.
I think it's the shouting afterwards.
Much to shout about. Congratulations, third win in this race and second win on the night.
Thank you.
And a great win for Frankie. That's the third time he's won this race. He won the initial running back in 1998 on Stowaway, and then a few years later when it was Suleiman. There's David Loader there, who used to train.
Thank you very much.
It's the second year you have your trainer's license, and you also win on World Cup night.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I won. I'm very happy for Godolphin and the whole team. And I think Frankie gave the horse a brilliant ride. And Rewilding, he's a class horse, and he always liked to run fresh. So we decided to run him fresh, and he ran well anyway.
It definitely works for him. Have you discussed with His Highness where he might go next?
We haven't decided where he's going next, to be honest. So we have to sit again and see His Highness and racing manager Simon Criswell, see what he will say.
Congratulations to the whole team.
Thank you very much.
We can see your other horse, Calvados Blues, coming back.
He ran a very good race. This horse, honest, is always trying his best. Yeah.
First and third is pretty good. Let's talk about Monterosso.
I think he will run a good race, but it's not easy. It's a tough race, I wish everything go all right. I want to win the race.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Frankie Dettori victorious as he approaches the winners' enclosure for the second time this evening, and a fantastic result.
It's funny because listening to him at the Godolphin morning the other week, he was absolutely in no way bullish about any of his rides. He was quite downbeat, and Frankie's extremely helpful to interview. He generally tells you what he thinks, so I don't know how confident he was going into this race. I thought Sky Services' best chance of a winner, and I think he thought the same, but I suppose that reflects the strength of the field rather than anything else, because we knew this was a good horse from what we saw of him last year in Europe.
Well, as I said, if you put a run behind that, put a line through that run in the St. Leger, know, he was head and shoulders above these contenders in this race. There was no reason to suggest why he couldn't have gone close. As I said, that Derby form, he won the Voltigeur, he beat the likes of Joshua Tree, who's since gone on and been a decent performer. You know, he beat some good horses on that race. You know, obviously horses have off days, and, you know, he did. I was a little bit concerned about the ground, to be honest, in this race. I thought he'd like a bit of cut, because, but, you know, obviously the ground conditions were clearly ideal here, and he's got the job done well, and that gives Mahmoud Al Zaruni a second winner on World Cup night. Of course, Saddle Carmen Influence to win the Godolphin Mile last year. But this is going to get a good round of applause, as indeed is already happening. And I think one thing is odds on here. We are going to get Flying Dismount number 2.
We will. And I suppose we should give credit to André Fabre, Godolphin France. He had this horse early in his career, and he's an improving horse, isn't he? He's had to have improved, I think, to win this. And he's done very, very well here, as has Frankie, to land on his feet. Again, he doesn't get many of those wrong, does he?
No, and another good payday for him. 10% of 3 million, isn't that bad? Was that work out 300 grand? Was it 30?
You would know, you're the money person.
Anyway, it's a lot of money, put it that way. I mean, where would they think now? Obviously, they go back to England. There's obviously some good races over a mile and a half. Something like just springs to mind, you know, the Juddmonte International. That's a mile and a quarter, isn't it, at York? King George, would he be up to that?
That's what first sprang to my head. I thought, where would they go next, King George? But before that, you've got things like the Coronation Cup.
Yeah.
He's proved he handles Epsom. I asked Frankie about that slingshot thing, didn't I? Rubens Barrichello, motor racing driver, that's where that's come from.
And it's really, as I said, the parade ring is very, very busy, and there's still the best race of the nights to come. It's been a thrilling evening here. We've seen some top-class racing. We said before, we didn't expect it to be a Godolphin whitewash, but it's clearly been a blue wash so far.
Yes, and that was our 6th thoroughbred favourite to come in, which makes me think that Twice Over will win the Dubai World Cup, because that's the sort of night it is. We've had no surprises. Although I think when we see the replay, we'll know for sure, but there were a couple of horses unlucky there. Calvados Blues, who's run a stormer to finish 3rd, but stumbled early on in the race, which Terry pointed out in commentary. And if you watch here, the Great Dean was Dean also a little bit unlucky. Yeah,
she certainly was. She goes to I'm not sure she would have won the race, but Olivier Pellier really has to snatch up on her approach in the latter stages of the race. Not done any favours at all by their Calvados Blue. Just literally takes her rim and subsequently goes into Chinchon, and that was her winning chance done. But whether she would have managed to get her head in front and beat this Rewild and in the sheepskin noseband is questionable. But Redwood's run another good race for him. He finishes 2nd in the end. Calvados Blues fills 3rd spot to give Mahmoud a 1 and 3 in this race.
Yeah, good performance from there. Also, the stewards will presumably probably have a little look at that interference, of course, and nice shot there of this horse. He's only a youngster, he's only a 4-year-old, and he's taken all this in his stride, and he's now won half of his starts, 4 from 8. Very exciting horse for Godolphin to take back to Europe.
He certainly is. Suleimani won this race for Godolphin a few years ago, and he, you could argue say, one of the legends of the turf. Certainly a great horse for Godolphin, and whether this horse will sort of reach the lofty heights that Suleimani did, well, who knows, but it's going to be fantastic to think what will happen with him before. But as you can see, it's so busy here. They're really, really great to see Meydan full to its capacity here. It'll be interesting to sort of find out what the official numbers will be for those here on course today, but I think it looks comfortable as well. You think we've got the best of both. We've got the atmosphere, but you've got a little bit of space as well to manoeuvre, which is obviously what you want to be able to happen here on World Cup. If you just look at the left, you can see the tractors are on the Tapeta surface, just given that the all-weather track, that final little harrow to make sure that conditions are absolutely perfect. Pleased to say as well, the temperature has dropped slightly as well. No problems with sand, so it'll be absolutely perfect. The closing state is now Frankie Dettori, and there we are, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed in the winners' enclosure. Understandably very, very pleased with that success, as is Frankie Dettori, another win in this race. That's a 3rd success for him, and back on the big stage, Frankie gets the job done. Jason Ford is with me now. Jason, I didn't have anything on this horse because I just thought he was too short, but I should have done, because a 2-to-1 winner is better than a 20-to-1 loser.
Yeah, a bit of 3-to-1 was available earlier. It was a good price on reflection. He's running the Epsom Derby, was by far the strongest form on offer there. You think, he got nearer to Workforce than anything else in this field, I think, would have done. Deem, she was done no favours close. So Calvados Blues has to be one to take out. I actually thought Akram Ashtebi was coming off at one stage, definitely impeded quite badly. Deem, the gap's closing there, but I don't think she quite gets home over this 2,400 metres, and this Laheb's not got much room there. Considering he was hampered early on, Calvados Blues, and there again then, he's done exceptionally well. to run on for third. Obviously, the stewards are going to have quite a close look at that. You know, Redwood I don't think was involved, and the Japanese horse was Tyrant Rulership, but he gave his supporters, and there's a lot of them here, a good run for their money for a long way under Christophe Soumillon, and of course in the colours they'll be hoping that Buena Vista can be carried to victory in the big race.
Buena Vista's the talking horse, definitely, for people if you've got to sort of nail down a selection for the World Cup. That is a great shot. That is fantastic. There we are, John Ferguson, who's one of the bloodstock advisors to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. There is Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum. And that is what you like to see. We've seen some great reaction from the winning connections tonight as well.
And of course the dam at Darara, if I'm right in saying, Dare Mies Dam, who won the race last year, so that must be a pretty unique double. Winning half siblings, bred by Watership down stud, a great result. And Tiger Hill is a Darley sire that they sort of bought into, acquired in recent times, and his progeny do tend to get better at 4.
Laura and I were just sort of saying, what aims would they be having for this horse in the future? Would they try and go for an international campaign, or would they sort of? I mean, I mentioned the German International, but before that, probably King George, something like that. Would that be on the agenda? Would you think?
Coronation Cup might come a little bit early, but I think that would probably be the first target. He's obviously a Group 1 winner now, so I'd imagine they'll keep him in that company. The King George, that might be a little bit difficult. The Coronation Cup usually turns out to be quite a winnable race early in the season. Then those races get harder and harder as the campaign goes on.
See, from the final stage again, I mean, let's just sort of try and sort out what happens with Dean, because she's gone to win a race there, gone to try and come between La Hebe, who's actually on a good race, and Rulership. And
Calvados Blues dives up the inside there, and is going to find absolutely no room there. He was next to Rewilding a minute ago. He's gone up.
That was quite a brave move for Ahmed to try and go through that, that gap.
You've got to give the horse an awful lot of credit. I think he's managed to snatch third, having stumbled very early on in the race and then been stopped in his tracks there. He's done well, but it's a lot of daylight between the winner and the rest.
Now, they went off, I thought, Jason, quite slowly, and as a consequence, the first couple of furlongs, there were lots of horses sort of pulling and sort of trying to get into a relaxed mode. Calvados Blues looked at one stage if he was quite keen. He got sort of ran for a start or two. I mean, it'd be interesting to find out what the actual official time was, and with the fractions in the latter stage of the race.
Yeah, they've sort of quickened up nicely. There was a lot in there with a chance when they're turning for home. Dangerous Midge was tracking, but sort of dropped out very, very tamely. I'm not quite sure if something went wrong with that one. He was very disappointing. King Dancer never really got into it. Slowly away. Ryan, from the 14 gate, he's had to do a precipice almost, isn't he, and go across and sort of try and come from behind. But Mahmood, he's had a great first year, isn't he, as a trainer, and this is a really nice winner for him.
Certainly is, and there he is collecting the winner's trophy from Mr. He Yong, who's the vice chairman of China Guangwusha, who of course sponsor this race here at Meydan. Second year they sponsored this race. And Mahmood, another winner on World Cup night for him. As you said, Jace, he's had a brilliant year, and nice that he's got Casamento to look forward to. Could be a Derby winner.
Very much so. And he's also got Monte Rosso to look forward to in the World Cup itself. And if someone could please explain to me how he's the rank outsider, I'm struggling personally. He would have been favourite for this race that they've just won with Rewilding. He's no forlorn hope. On a surface he will act on. Yeah,
Montrose, of course, won the City of Gold, which is the prep for this. And I gave him a chance, and everybody put me off saying, he's in the race as a pacemaker, so that's why I discounted his chances. But as you said, he has got a lot of good form, Monterosso.
Yeah, he was behind Cape Blanco, I know, in the Irish Derby last year, but his form in the UK at length on the Peter type surfaces is very, very good, and he deserves his place in that World Cup field.
Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum receiving the trophy, I'm assuming, on behalf of the owners. Another win for Godolphin. That's the third win we've seen in the Royal Blue this evening. Could they make it a 4-timer in the world's richest horse race? They've got 2 racing for them.